Tonight on NewsNight, what a former Duquesne basketball player has been charged with.
And why two fraternities at Penn State lost their school's recognition.
Plus, the latest in university news, regional sports, and a check of your forecast. NewsNight begins now. Good evening and welcome to NewsNight. I'm Alex Grubbs along Sarah Gibson. We begin tonight with developing news from Manhattan. At least 8 people are dead after a man in a rented truck drove onto a busy bicycle path near the World Trade Center Memorial around 3 p.m. Tuesday afternoon. Police say the rented truck struck at least 19 people, including the 8 fatalities. The Associated Press reports that the driver was shot by police after jumping out of the rented car with 2 fake handguns. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio called the attack a, quote, cowardly act of terror, and New York Governor Andrew Cuomo urged New Yorkers to, quote, continue being New Yorkers, end quote. The story continues to develop, and police are treating this as a possible terror event.
Shifting to local news, 2 Penn State fraternities have lost recognition after violating the university's alcohol policies by making it available at special events, which were attended by underage students. According to WTAE, the university says that Pi Lambda Phi will not be recognized until the end of 2019, and Delta Upsilon will not be recognized until the end of the spring semester. This means that neither fraternity will be able to participate in Greek life events such as homecoming or the school's dance marathon. This comes after prosecutors moved to reinstate the dismissed charges against 11 Penn State students for the actions related to the hazing death of a fraternity that is now closed.
A former Duquesne University basketball player has been charged with rape of a woman. Reported by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the 19-year-old Puerto Rican native Nick Washington was charged with rape, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, sexual assault, aggravated indecent assault, and unlawful restraint. Spokeswoman Bridget Fair told the PG on Monday that Washington was removed from the university's basketball team on September 2nd, a day after the alleged assault. According to the criminal complaint, the woman told Pittsburgh police that Washington showed interest in her at the party on September 1st, where they met. After the party, she became separated from her friends on Duquesne's campus and asked Washington if she could charge her phone as it was dying. After going to the room, he forced her to perform sex acts, despite telling Washington no. Washington will appear at a preliminary hearing at City Court on November 9th.
Will the next few days be a washout? Here with hopefully some good news and a look at our forecast is Nick Kasisky. Nick?
All right, so for your forecast, I'm about to tell you what's going on. Oh, Wednesday, man, trick or treat, more like rain or sleet. Wednesday, we got 50 degrees for the high, 47 for the low. And then Thursday, that sun, just coming up, peaking above that cloud. We're going to be getting into 60 there, 68. That's actually a pretty nice day. And then Friday, 60 degrees high, 43 low. Still getting some of that rain. But then for your weekend, ooh, spooky. For your weekend, Saturday and Sunday, rain on Saturday, a little bit of sun on Sunday, not bad. And we're looking highs in between 59 and 65. And that's basically your forecast. Oh, okay. Take it to forget it. Take it.
Thanks, Nick. When we return, an Oscar-winning actor is responding to allegations of sexual assault. The details on the other side of the break.
And why President Trump's former campaign chair is facing charges.
And Jake Berlin will have the latest in campus news.
T. Why should you watch and focus?
Because, why not?
Turn. Why should you watch and focus?
Because I produce it.
Welcome to In Focus.
Hello. This is so we don't run out of time.
Put up a goal just because it...
And a little bit closer, please. Let me bring this in. I wanted to do a game. So,
game time. All right.
Game over.
Hey.
Oh, wow. Did we get that?
There he is. Why do you watch and focus? Because in focus is great. Chris! Game time! Game time! It's not game time. It's a promo.
figure out who's the killer and solve her own.
Three, two.
Happy Halloween!
2, 1. Taking cue, open mic.
Happy Halloween!
From all of us at NewsNight, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Merry Christmas. Nick, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween. You missed that whole first one.
From us at Samir, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys.
Nice mask, Nicole. Thanks, Michelle.
Don't worry about it. You called.
Clever. Clever.
Two-time Oscar winner and star of Netflix's hit show House of Cards, Kevin Spacey, has been accused of sexually assaulting a fellow actor. Anthony Rapp, best known for his role as Mark Cohen in the original Broadway production of Rent. Rapp's story was published through an article on BuzzFeed, after Rapp says he compelled to come forward after the Harvey Weinstein allegations. Rapp says he wanted, quote, to try to shine another light on the decades of behavior that have been allowed to continue because many people, including myself, being silent, end quote. Rapp says that Spacey made unwanted sexual advances on him after a party in 1986 when Spacey was 26 and Rapp was only 14. Shortly after the article was published, Spacey made a statement regarding the article via Twitter, stating that, quote, I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been over 30 years ago. But if I did behave, then as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology for what would have been deeply inappropriate drunken behavior, and I am sorry for feelings he describes having carried with him all these years, end quote. Spacey followed the apology with his own confession, stating, quote, I have loved and had romantic encounters with men throughout my life, and I now choose to live as a gay man, end quote. The day after the allegations were published, Netflix announced that the 6th season of House of Cards would be its last. According to the New York Times, however, this decision was made months ago, and was not made in response to the allegations.
A former Trump campaign manager was indicted by a grand jury on Friday. According to the indictment, Paul Manafort and his associate Rick Gates were indicted on 12 counts, including a conspiracy against the U.S., conspiracy to launder money, unregistered agent of a foreign principal, false statements, etc. The indictment read that both Manafort and Gates acted as unregistered agents of the government of Ukraine, the Party of Regions, a Ukrainian political party, and the opposition bloc, the successor to the Party of Regions. From 2006 to at least 2016, both men hid Ukrainian payments from U.S. authorities by laundering money through scores of the U.S. and foreign corporations, partnerships, and bank accounts. These payments were given to foreign nominee companies and bank accounts in other foreign countries as well. This comes as the investigation into the Russian meddling of the 2016 presidential election and to Trump's campaign.
From clubs hosting events to organization funding, Point Park has been busy this week. Here with the latest campus news from the Globe is Jake Berlin. Jake?
This week on campus, renowned Pittsburgh photographer Dave DiCello visited the Center for Media Innovation to offer advice to students interested in taking pictures for a living. He talked about the stories behind some of his most famous photos and shared shots ranging from action sports to city skylines. DiCello grew up locally and graduated from Bethel Park High School, then later attended Allegheny College. Since taking his first paid gig in 2009, he's been featured nationally through Time Magazine and Good Morning America. The event here at Point Park was hosted by the National Press Photographers Association. NPPA chapter president Nicole Kost said, quote, I think his presentation was a good example of how someone can build their platform and get to where they want to be. He was a small-town guy with big city dreams, end quote. And our own Point Park men's soccer team has guys with big dreams of their own. They finished off the regular season with a 4-point lead over Carlow University. Sophomore Juan Somoza was in net and had 4 saves on 5 shots. With an 11-5 regular season record, the Pioneers will compete next in the River States Conference quarterfinal playoffs. The match will take place this Saturday at a location and time yet to be determined. Somoza said that going forward, the team will continue to work as hard as they can. And working just as hard in the meantime are the leaders of some of Point Park's student clubs. They recently met with USG senators and executive cabinet members to make their cases for funding for the upcoming second period of the semester. The Student Human Resources Association Club requested $450 to cover a group membership fee. USG initially decided that it would not cover it despite having the available funds. But Senator Samir Nefsi argued, quote, "We just allocated $527 for a cake, so why can't we pay their fee?" The motion passed. Next week, the IT student organization will face a similar budgeting battle. Have a comment you'd like to make yourself? On November 8th, a student concerns table will be set up in the West Penn lobby from 12 to 3 p.m. That's your latest campus news. For more information, make sure to check out the latest The Globe on newsstands tomorrow. Let's head back over to Sarah and Alex at the desk.
Thanks, Jake. There were plenty of tricks and treats for CAB's annual Halloween dance. This year, the dance was held at Spirit Hall, a multi-level lounge that features a unique light-up ballroom. The DJ played spooky remixes of all the top hits, and students showed up in their most creative costumes to dance the night away. The event also featured trivia from the cult classic Hocus Pocus, and of course, a costume contest. The spooky setup was sure to start off every Pioneer's Halloween weekend right.
Coming up, see what's uniting Southeast Asian nations and what milestone their group is celebrating.
Plus, what the Spanish government set in motion this week against secessionists.
And Rob Gomez will bring us the latest from the World Series. We'll be right back.
I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me. Oh, if I was you, I'd wanna be me too. 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 I'd wanna be me.
Spending just 7 minutes climbing stairs each day cuts your risk of a heart attack in half over 10 years. Sure, elevators are convenient, but you burn twice the number of calories just going upstairs than you do while jogging. Think about how long you spend waiting for elevators. The average person spends the equivalent of 2 years waiting for elevators over the course of their lifetime. Don't let that be you. Save time and increase energy. Next time, take the stairs.
I tell these guys all the time to stick to talking sports and not playing sports.
Here we go. Ready? Didn't make it.
Ahead of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN Summit, that will mark 50 years of the organization, the U.S. remains a firm supporter of the organization, according to a Department of Defense press release. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis emphasized that he stands with ASEAN's statement of North Korea's increased ballistic missile provocation, as it highlights DPRK's threatening regional peace. This summit, a week from now, will tackle terrorism, regional threats, and economic standpoints. Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, and Brunei are all the countries in ASEAN. As reported by GMA News, in attendance will be all 10 world leaders part of ASEAN, plus the members of the East Asia Summit and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. A Russian diplomat was also earlier reported saying that Russian President Vladimir Putin will most likely skip the ASEAN Summit this month. The White House said that Donald Trump accepted the invitation from Filipino President Rodrigo Duterte. This will mark the 31st summit as well.
Turning now to the conflict in Spain. According to the New York Times, the Spanish government is now seeking to put Catalonian leaders on trial for their secessionist behavior and alleged crimes that could possibly cost them decades in prison. Spain's state prosecutor said he will be seeking rebellion, sedition, and embezzlement charges against the leaders of the separatist government of Catalonia. The charges for rebellion, sedition, and embezzlement are worth 30, 15, and 6 years in prison, respectively. Chief Prosecutor José Manuel Maza said that he would ask the judges for preventative measures against the governing body of the Catalan parliament that allowed a vote to declare independence. Several of the leaders, possibly facing charges, have gone to Belgium, reportedly to seek asylum. Spain's government has also said that the fired leaders could be charged with usurping the jobs of other officials if they refuse to leave their positions.
Turning now from the headlines to the sidelines, we are joined by Rob Gomez, who has the latest on yet another national anthem controversy. Rob?
Thanks, Alex. Just when you thought the whole kneeling for the national anthem in the NFL has simmered down, Houston Texans owner Bob McNair threw lighter fluid on that fire. In a recent owners meeting about the controversial subject, McNair was on record saying, quote, "We can't have inmates running this prison," end quote. As you can guess, it didn't take long for the owner to hear backlash amongst the fans and players. Many players have taken to Twitter to speak their opinions on the matter. Seattle Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman tweeted, "I can appreciate people being candid. Don't apologize. You meant what you said, showing your true colors. Allows people to see you for who you are. And I wish more people would do that, so that the world could ostracize those who would want to see equality. Otherwise, they will continue to hide," end quote. The Houston Texans responded as a team by kneeling to the national anthem. McNair has since released a statement apologizing for his words. Now, let's talk World Series. This fall classic has been one for the books. This roller coaster series started off with a good old pitching duel between Clayton Kershaw and Dallas Keuchel. The Dodgers edged out the W 3-1. Game 2 was a bomb fest with 8 home runs. The Astros evened up the series thanks to back-to-back 10th-inning homers courtesy of Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa. Houston took Game 3 at home, knocking out Yu Darvish after 1 2/3 inning. Of course, the Dodgers evened up the series thanks to a 5-run 9th inning in Game 4. And, in probably one of the craziest games in World Series history, what was thought to be a rematch of the pitching duel in Game 1 was anything but. Houston beat LA 13-12 in 10 innings. The Astros now have a chance to win their first World Series in Los Angeles in Game 6, where they will be played on Halloween Tuesday night at 8 p.m. when Justin Verlander faces off against Rich Hill. And that's the latest in the world of sports. Let's head back over to Sarah and Alex at the desk.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Alex Grubbs, I'm Sarah Gibson. Have a great night.